Hi everyone, in this video we'll talk about NSE Nifty Index in particular and take a deep dive into it as to how this index performed on each month of the year 2022. Since we are in December already, there's only one trading day left. I think this is the right time to do this analysis and to reflect back, okay, whether our index performed good in certain months or not good, not so good in certain months. In the previous video, we saw that NSE Nifty was in fact the leader in the top 6 economies in terms of returns for the year 2022. So it has been a bright year overall, but let's dissect and see which month gave the best returns and which month gave the worst returns. Maybe you can use that data to create an investment strategy out of it. Who knows? So with that, let's dive into it. As always, we'll clear the environment with RM list is equal to ls and control plus L for clearing the console. That being done, it's the same as the previous video. If you haven't guessed what it, please click on the link on the top right. That video explains how top 6 economies indexes fared in the year 2022, and you'll see the top 6 economies: US, China, Japan, Germany, India, and UK. And you'll compare the major indexes for 2022 and see who came out on top and who came out on bottom. In that video as well, I wrote the exact same 3 packages: the dplyr package, pdfetch package, and ggplot2 package. So I'll run that. And now my sole focus is on NSE Nifty because Indian index of Nifty50 was the leader in 2022 in terms of returns if we only consider the top 6 economies of the world. With that, I'll use the pdfetch underscore Yahoo function. It's the same as explained in the previous video. The symbol for that is NSEI, right? The dates, I'll choose it from its 1st January till 31st December. So whatever data is available on Yahoo Finance for NSEI, I'll get the data here. How to get the symbol? You can just go to Yahoo Finance and in front of every index, the code is in the brackets and it's very easy to find. If you don't, please let me know. I'll share you the index list as well. And I only want to keep the columns of date, the opening price, and the closing price. So let's see which prices are most important to me. Let's say I'm calculating returns for January 2022. I need to know on the first trading day in January, what did it open into so that I can buy, and what did it close into in January so that I can sell, right? In these two prices, I'll subtract and I'll calculate the return. I'll get the number that I need. Right now, I am extracting the yearly data. So let's run this. You'll see a data frame which has the yearly data from 3rd January, of course, because 1st and 2nd were holidays. 3rd January, it opened at 17,387, and on 29th December, okay, the trading day has ended, so it's closed at 18,191, right? So the data is refreshed on Yahoo Finance. But I need to divide this data set into month by month and then calculate the return as well. So how will I do that? So right now I'll add a column called month using mutate statement. If you haven't yet checked out how to use mutate statement in dplyr package, please click the video on the top right. It will certainly help how to add a new column in a data frame that exhibits data that you want and how you can wrangle with it and play with it moving ahead. I want to create a column called month, and I want to get it from the date that's already there. So right now the date in this data set is in the format of year, month, and date. I want to only extract the middle part of it, which is the month. So that's what I'm writing in the code. If you look to the code, format as date, the column of date format is right now year, month, and date, and I want only the month, right? So once I run this, you see it was first 3 variables, now it's 4 variables, and I'll open it. And you can see the 4th column of month is there, and I have successfully extracted month from the date, right? It's very easy to extract once you know which command to use. So now I have the month column extracted. Now I can divide the data set easily into 12 months. So if I want to do it for January 2022, I need to only filter with the month 01. If I want February, it's 02. You can also do it in a loop format. I did it one by one so that it's very, very clear as to what am I doing, and it should feel operational. It should not feel very complicated if I use a loop. So whatever I'm doing for January, I'm doing the same command for all the other 11 months, right? So I'll run it for January 1st, and you can see in January I had 20 trading days. It started at 17,387 and closed at 17,339. So it didn't perform good in January. That's a discussion for later on in the video when I calculate the returns. All right, made the data set for January. Now I'll made it for Feb to December in one go. Yep, now the chunk is run and you can see I have all the data sets January, February till December, right? Okay, now we come to the third step. The third step is to calculate monthly returns. We loaded the packages, we understood the pdfetch package, we got the data from Nifty, we divided the data into 12 data sets. Now I need to calculate the return in each of that data sets, right? Again, I'll make it very operational. Whatever I do for January, I'll do the same for the next 11 months. I can use a loop here, but I won't be using it because I want to state it in very simple manner. So for Nifty Jan, what I'm doing is the same thing as the previous video, taking the closing price, subtracting the opening price and dividing it by the opening price. If I invested 100 rupees at the start of the month, it became 110 at the end of the month. So it's 110 minus 100, that is 10. And I divided by the opening price. Opening was 100. So 10 by 100 is 10% is my return. This is the exact same thing that I'm doing here. So I'll run it for Jan first. And you can see the value for Nifty Jan is minus 0.27. So minus 0.27% was the return in January. Now let's run the same for Nifty Feb till Nifty December. And you can see many variables created. That gives us, okay, in March it was positive 5.25%, in May it was a negative 2.01%, and we have 12 variables, which gives us 12 values of percentage returns if I would have invested in that month. But I want to visualize it month by month in a full chart so that it's easy for me to understand what's going on, right? So similar to that, before I build a chart, I need to build a data frame that can source the values from that data frame, right? So I'll make a data frame and I'll name the first column as months and second column as percent change. And I'll also give it a month number so I can sort my values in a chart. So the chart actually formats the data in alphabetical order if you don't give it a number. So if I put in January, February, March, April, May, June, April will be the first month in the chart, which I don't really want. I want to see January, February till December in a particular order. So to do that, I'll just add the sequential number starting with 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, because that will help me put the chart in order. Now, the last step is to visualize the month by month return. So since DF is created, I'll quickly show you what DF is. So in first month, the return was minus 0.27%. In fourth month, the return was minus 1.92%. In the 11th month, that is November, the return was 3.46%. Now let's create a chart out of it. So I'll run the ggplot command. It's exactly the same command as the previous video. I'll not explain entire functions again, but again, I'm just plotting, I'm converting it into a bar chart, and then I'm adding some text onto it, and then I'm adding the axis labels. So everything is step by step, and you can Google these commands and understand how these commands are working, or you can just use the script as it is. Completely your choice, right? So I've run this command and now I have a chart which I'll open in a bigger window, and you can see that in January it was minus 0.27%, not much. In February it went down 4.5%, but in March it rebounded back again 5.25%. And then in April, May, and June, it was a bloodbath when the index lost a lot of value, which it then compensated for, in July and August. And since July, we have only had 2 months of negative performance, and all the others have been good. So that shows that in the second half of the year, the Indian economy did really, really well. And that is the reason in 2022, India is ending Nifty 50 on a positive note. So when you deep dive into month by month analysis, you can actually understand what's going on and how you can dissect the performance of a particular index. You can also build some trading strategies with it. What if you are an investor who likes to buy in very huge quantity, and you don't like to buy when the markets are rallying in a very high scenario? Like you won't, very few people would like to buy when the market is up 9% in a month, right? But many would like to buy when the markets are 1 to 2% down, because you will get more units for the same price. So you can actually use this tool to create charts for year on year to understand, okay, whenever market goes down by X%, do the following months cover up? Like how many months on an average does Nifty goes down in the entire year, right? So you can look through market cycles, you can look through the global financial recession, the GFR from 2008 to 2010. You can see what was the average that Nifty performed in a very bad market scenario. In the bull market scenario from 2018, you can see how good is Nifty performing, how many negative months are there, and based on that, you can make your investment strategy. You can buy when the markets are down, and because you know that in a year, on an average, Nifty goes down for X number of months. So you can invest and sit down calmly by just knowing which months will perform, and once underperformance kicks in, which months are bound to overperform so that they compensate for underperformance. I hope you find this useful. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.